How do you feel? How do you feel about the whole thing? Looking forward to it all?
Definitely. Last Olympics was very young and inexperienced, immature. Didn't handle things the way I should have. And it was a tough experience for me. It was a big learning curve. Had good times and bad times, but I think this Olympics, I know what to expect going in, and I think it'll be a great thing to be a part of. And obviously, it only happens every 4 years for a reason, because it's a special thing to be a part of, and not many athletes get a chance to represent their country at an Olympics, let alone qualify for the Olympics. So it's a big step for us.
You've always been extremely firm in your belief about wanting to play for the Australian national team, particularly World Championships and Olympics. I think that's been your charter all the way through, hasn't it? That they're the two that you will play.
Yeah, definitely. That's the goal. I said as soon as I was, in the in the NBA draft. It's tough to play every year. Tough to play every off season, and I think it's one of those things. It's a process. You gotta find ways to get rest before the national team duties after your NBA season, and then after this Olympics, I got to find some rest to get ready for the NBA season. But I think the Olympics are a little bit more important. Not knocking the World Championships. The World Championships are obviously a great thing, but the Olympics is just one step up from everything, because it's just a great thing to be part of.
What about this crew? I mean, there's a lot of people, Gorge included, who's called it possibly the most talented Australian team ever to be rolled out. There is a lot of talent on this team. How do you see it?
Yeah, there is, but I think, judging on tonight, we play hard. I think it doesn't matter what talent you have. I mean, we've had a talented roster in Milwaukee the past couple of years, and we've got nowhere. I think this group plays hard, and that makes up for a lot of mistakes. We are very talented in spots. We've got some areas we definitely need to improve on, but we can make up for a lot of mistakes and a lot of things we don't have compared to other countries just by playing hard and getting in there and having a go. And I think that's one thing, the Australian culture and the Australian Boomers have always embraced.
Can you talk about the difficulty of this settling in process, in that you joined the team for the Gold Coast camp, and I guess people are looking at the clock and saying, we've got 3 weeks to get this sorted out. We've got the front line together for the first time. Tonight's the first time you stepped out as one. First of all, how difficult, and how do you think it worked tonight?
I think it was obviously, me personally, individually, I felt rusty going out there shooting. Just you can't train for a game. I mean, you can train and be in the best possible shape, but once you're in a game, it's just so different. I think personally for myself, I struggled a little bit today. I was a bit rusty, and I think as a team, we're a little bit rusty through stretches offensively. But like I said, we played so hard defensively, and gave effort throughout the whole game. It made up for that, and I think our camp went fine. I mean, I've played with most of the guys in the past World and the past Olympics, and I think most of the guys have played together in the NBL fronts and so on. So we basically know everyone's strengths, and I think that's an important thing to have in national teams, is going down the line. You might not have the same role you have with the Milwaukee Bucks or the Melbourne Tigers or the Sydney Kings, and I think each guy has a significant reason why they made the team, and we understand that. And if we can understand that as a national team, we'll have a great chance to be good. And we gelled pretty quickly in that Gold Coast camp. It wasn't a problem.
Can I get you to talk about a couple of teammates on this team? David Anderson rejoins the team for this campaign. What sort of player are we getting there, and what do you anticipate from him during this campaign?
Obviously, probably one of the best big men floating around Europe at the moment. There's a reason why, and he's gotten better every year. I've seen him. He's expanded his game. Every year he's bringing something new to the table. I think that's very important. It shows that he's in the gym in the off season and he's working hard. He brings a very, very good touch for a guy that's near 7 foot. Knows the game very, very well. High basketball IQ, and I think he'll help us dramatically, whether he's coming off the bench like he did tonight, or even starting and playing big minutes. And you feel very comfortable to be in my position, being the starting five and looking down the bench, and you've got a guy like David Anderson backing you up. It's a great thing to have. From
the tall to the short, Paddy Mills, a lot of excitement about what Paddy brings to this team. Certainly it started back in the 2007 Oceania Championships last year in Melbourne. A lot of expectation when he came into the game. How's he settling into the role, and what can Australian basketball expect from him over the next 10 years?
Well, he'll be the point guard of the future, there's no doubt. Looking down the line of guys we have, he's probably the guy you put in that point guard of the future, and he's probably a pure point guard. He's trying to look and set up teammates and get into the seams, but obviously he's still got a lot of work to do in the international front, because it's a big step, and it's a completely different step from college, and I think he understands that. He works hard at it. But, he's got a great guy looking up to. He's looking up to CJ at the moment, who's a great veteran to have teaching him. And I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to be, whether he plays, 5 minutes a game or 30, it's going to be a great, invaluable experience for him. So when it's his time, which will probably be in 2010 or 2012, he's going to be more than ready. And I think that's a very important thing that Australia's lacked in the last decade, was breeding those young guys early instead of having a team full of veterans. And I think that's something that we need to keep doing.
really the chance to ease into that transition game to make sure that that point guard of the future is in place?
Definitely, and like I said, I think just getting young guys that even if he sits, it's invaluable experience for him. Do you know what I mean? I mean, having guys. To me, my guys on the bench at 9, 10, 11, 12, bar Anstey, obviously, is the MVP. They're all younger guys. You got Ingles, Paddy Mills, and Nate Joa will slot in there in a couple of years. It's very important to have them, even if they're not going to find minutes, is just to watch and see. And then when they're ready, they've been part of the whole traveling around, trying to, missing planes, getting to hotels at 2 a.m. and having practices straight after. You get used to that instead of just getting thrown in there straight away. I think that's very important.
Who are the teams to look out for at the games?
Everyone. Everyone. I mean, I'm even, you look at our pool, everyone could beat us and we could beat everybody. So you even look at people will be circling, Iran and saying, oh, that's a win for sure. It's not, just looking down that list. We got Argentina, probably one of the best teams in the world at the moment. Croatia's on a huge high. They haven't been to an Olympics in 12 years. Lithuania is always, one of the best basketball schools in Europe there. Russia qualified for the first time in a while. And then you got Iran in there who are just on a high, didn't even expect to make the Olympics, which is a scary thing. So our pool is very, very tough, and you don't know who's going to go through. And then go on the other side, you obviously have the States who are dominant every year.